Right, very good morning to you all. I hope you're all fine. 28th of December 2023, that in between week of Christmas and New Year where you're not too sure what the day is. I think it's Thursday. So, right, let's move it all on. We're going to have a little look at the weather forecast for the next 2 days. We're going to have a really good look at the pressure patterns, the jet stream, the temperatures, some weather fronts that are going to change things somewhat, a new storm potentially coming in later on in the period, and then we'll wrap it up by taking a look at the longer term trends, see if what's going on in the early part of the new year. So, bit of ground to cover. Hopefully, we'll get it all done in 10 or 15 minutes. So, if you've got a cup of tea and a biscuit, sit back, relax, and enjoy. So, situation this morning is once again, we've got rather a deep area or two areas of low pressure to the northwest of the UK, bringing in southwesterly breezes across the UK. So it's not quite as cold as it has been, particularly across the parts of Scotland where some milder air has come back in. It's been mild down in the south now for 2 weeks, so no real difference down here. But yeah, across the north today, excuse me, temperatures are a little bit warmer than they have been, and this can be seen in the anomalies, very mild down in the south. Right, so we've seen that area of low pressure that is sitting there today. By tomorrow, that area of low pressure will be sitting bang slap over the top of Shetland, and what that will be starting to do, that will be starting to draw in cooler or colder air back from the north into parts of Scotland, and that can be seen with the temperature anomalies tomorrow. Notice how it's turned a little bit bluer up there towards Scotland. So temperatures falling slightly below average again. But once again, temperatures remaining mild in the south. Right, we'll now just give you a sneaky peek as to what is going on. This is the situation for Saturday the 30th. Another very, very deep area of low pressure will be knocking on the door of the UK, and I think the Met Office will probably be issuing a warning for this one today. Looks like there could be some quite gusty winds associated with this one, so watch this space. Right, reason for it? Well, yeah, cause and effect. It's the jet stream. So if we take a look at the jet stream today, it's firing across the Atlantic at a good old rate of knots, around about 130 to 150 miles an hour. The jet is a high level parcel of air, which is really basically steers the low pressure systems. The faster the jet, the stronger the temperature boundary between the warmer air to the south and the colder air to the north. But what it does, it basically steers the low pressures across the UK. So that is the situation. This is the reason why things are so active and mobile. We run that jet forward to tomorrow. Again, not too much in the way of difference. That profile is still straight. It's still quite fast, but notice it's a little bit further south tomorrow, meaning that some slightly cooler air is going to get into the north. But a sneaky peek to Saturday, that very deep Atlantic area system that we'll be pushing in creates a kink in that jet stream. So across Ireland, milder southwesterly breezes will be coming in, but then in the wake of it, things turn cooler again. So a real sort of like Atlantic train of depressions that will keep coming in sort of on regular intervals, at least for the next few days. Perhaps some signs of things changing in the new year. We'll come on to that towards the end. Right, so what we'll now do is take a look at the current temperatures. Top of the hots this morning, 14 degrees at Lakenheath Royal Air Force Base, and many stations across the south of the UK are sitting at between 11 and 12 degrees, so exceptionally mild again. Current minimum temperatures, well, the chills on the hills today, minus 2.2 on the Cairngorm summit at 1,245 metres above sea level. Moor, again, I think you're at about 1,200 metres. You're minus 1.4. And Blacknabar, I think you're at 600 metres, so you're a fairly high altitude station. You're at 1.3. Many lowland stations across Scotland, though, are milder than they have been, typically around about 5 degrees. Right, so what we're going to take a look at now, gusts. It's a bit breezy out there this morning. I think universally across the UK, we're all seeing gusts in that sort of like that 35 to 45 mile an hour range. especially around the showers. And I'll just show you the radar picture in a minute because there are some showers around. But yes, I think the highest gust that I've currently seen is 64 miles an hour at Aberdaron. Right, what we'll now do is just take a look at that radar. We did say we'd have a little look, and yeah, the situation across the UK this morning is that it's one of those sort of bright mornings, rather cloudy, but there are showers around. So a good scattering of showers, sort of east to west across the UK, particularly across Wales and currently across the Midlands. There's another patch moving across Lincolnshire. There's a good rush of showers across Ireland to the northwest of Dublin, and some heavier ones coming in across Northern Ireland. But yeah, the focus of probably the heaviest and most persistent showers this morning are across towards the borders, the southern uplands, but more especially across the highlands, and they will be heavy. And I think the trend for today is that these showers will be moving from west to east, but generally dying out as they come across to eastern parts of the UK. But a weak weather front will intensify some showers later on in the day, and we'll take a look at that on our projected rainfall in just a moment. Right, a little look around the cameras this morning. So this is down on Brighton Beach, windy, the white horses are blowing. There's a little bit of blue sky, some patchy cumulus blowing hurriedly in that southwesterly wind. We'll move up to the Wirral. Skies are a little bit heavier up there. Looks like the showers aren't too far away. So yeah, the unsettled theme is up there in the northwest as well. And over towards Linda's Farm, beautiful on Holy Island this morning. You're to the east of the UK, so you're somewhat drier. You're avoiding these showers at the moment. And then if you want a little bit of winter, well, there you go. This is Rovaniemi. I think this is Santa's village on the Arctic Circle. Snowfall in tourists out, -9 degrees. A chilly 16 degrees Fahrenheit. Right, let's get back to the UK. Let's have a look at today's weather. And we're now going to start off taking a look. Let's move you again. Thank you. Let's get back. We're going to take a look at the icon model. We're going to run it forward from now to 8 o'clock in the morning, picking up the showers across the western parts of the UK quite well. And if we just run the sequence through, so this is 9, 10, this is 12 o'clock today. So those showers perhaps gathering a little bit of strength in the west of the UK, quite heavy, especially again towards the Highlands, across the sort of the lakes, across the Pennines, and perhaps down as far as sort of South Wales. A few showers running through the English Channel. Run that forward through to this afternoon, so it looks like there's a more organised band of showery rain pushing down across the Midlands, heading into the central and southeastern parts of the UK later, but further heavy showers, persistent showers continuing across western parts of the UK and western parts of Ireland. Run that sequence through to this evening, so that band of rain fragments as it pushes across the southeast of England. Further showers across northwest England. Going to be quite a wet day up there, I think, at times, and more persistent rain in association with that low pressure system by the end of the day. Just starting to push into Scotland with some, I would have thought, some snow above around about 600 or 700 metres. A high altitude snow event again. Not at all unusual for the time of year up there in Scotland. Right, we'll now move this forward through to tomorrow. So the first thing of note is we see that area of low pressure is now moving across mainland Scotland, giving more heavier and persistent rain and some mountain snow up there. But notice in its wake, the breezes are starting to turn northerly. That will be bringing in colder air from the north with increasingly wintry showers to lower levels, I would have thought, through the course of tomorrow morning. Weather front pushing across Ireland, that's a cold weather front, and down across the south of the UK. There's still some showers running across Devon and Cornwall and perhaps fringing other south coast areas. Right, towards lunchtime tomorrow, the northwesterly breezes, they move down into Scotland, so things will be turning colder again for Scotland. Temperatures will be falling away. That weak weather front across Northern Ireland and parts of northern England, that seems to kind of get a little bit held up and stall. Further showers, milder in the south, on a breezy but perhaps not quite as breezy day tomorrow. Right, move that sequence through to tomorrow evening. The low pressure by then is to the east of Scotland. You've got some wintry showers pushing down across the northwestern parts of Scotland, but a mainly dry and cooler picture there. That front over northern England will have stagnated. I don't think it's going to move too far. It's probably going to fizzle out. Yeah, there you go. As that next area of deep low pressure pushes in at the end of tomorrow to give us a pretty wild day, I would have thought, on Saturday. We'll have a little look at that in the forecast when we come back on Saturday morning. Right, let's have a look what we're looking at. Yep, so we'll start to now look at the temperatures. So these are your maximum temperatures today. Very mild across England and Wales again, highs of 12. Temperatures across northern Britain, somewhat cooler, between 6 and 8 degrees, but generally a degree or two above average for most of us. Your starting temperatures tomorrow morning, very mild again across England and Wales. High single digits across England and Wales, a little bit cooler towards the north. And notice how towards the northwest of Scotland, those temperatures will be starting to fall away as the temperatures start to fall away as that northwesterly air mass kicks in. And then your temperatures at around midday, or should I say 1 o'clock tomorrow, the mild air holding on across England and Wales, but cooler air, 6s and 7s across northern England and across Scotland. Temperatures no better than 3 to 5. Right, we'll now just take a look at the winds before we just look at the longer term trends. So today, no prizes for guessing. It's a southwesterly breeze and we're blowing in moderate to fresh southwesterly breezes. They ease somewhat tomorrow, so lighter breezes, probably a moderate west southwesterly with that northwesterly breeze starting to kick in across Scotland. Right, now we're just going to have a look at the long-term temperature trends. So we're starting in London. We'll have a look at Manchester and Inverness. So we'll start with the 2 metre temperatures. So mild at the moment for the next few days. Looks as though a cooling trend does start to appear in the early part of the new year. We'll have a look at the precipitation spikes for London. It's a mainly unsettled theme continuing. Looks like we're going to receive a more sort of wet, more active low pressure day. That's that depression Thursday going into, I should say the 30th going into the 31st. Looks like some more quite heavy rain possible around the 1st or the 2nd. What we're going to have a look at, we'll take a look at the snow spikes. So snow spikes, not much on offer for London, certainly in the early part of the new year. So the relatively mild theme continues down in the south for a while yet. We'll now go to Manchester and take a look at your trends. So once again, a downward trend with regard to the 2 metre temperatures, mild at the moment, but temperatures slowly falling away as we move towards the new year. Perhaps a little bit of a cluster in there around about the 7th, 8th and 9th for perhaps a more significant cold spell developing. Watch this space. And we'll take a look at your precipitation spikes in Manchester. Quite wet for the next few days, perhaps becoming somewhat drier after around about the 5th of January. We'll have a little look at your snow spikes just for fun. And yeah, Manchester, well, yeah, I suppose you're a little bit further north. There is always the risk, but yeah, it looks like there's potentially something around the 30th, very, very low risk. And then maybe a few more spikes later on in the period. But yes, confidence very low at the moment. And shall we now just go to Inverness in Scotland and look at your 2 metre temperature trends? Well, you're generally rather cold at the moment anyway. Today's probably the mildest day you're going to have for a while. And then for the next few days, or should I say next couple of weeks, temperature's pretty consistent there for a rather cold spell of weather. Though I expect that's fairly normal for Inverness. And we'll take a look at your precipitation. Wet, unsettled, certainly up until the 3rd, perhaps a bit of a drying trend after the 5th of January. And we'll just close it off by looking at your snow depth spikes. Yeah, as you would expect, the 29th, right through really to the new year, there's the risk of some snowfall at times on the back end of those depressions, or as them depressions get closer. And then, yeah, I think it's generally consistent as the risk most days as we move into the new year. Anyway, I've rabbited on a little bit too long now, but yeah, suffice to say, that's the forecast for the next couple of days. Windy, unsettled, showery, turning a little bit colder in Scotland. I'll be back again on Saturday 30th to take a look at the New Year picture. But in the meantime, all have a lovely day. Thanks for watching, and ciao for now.